Greetings of peace and love, family, and welcome to Real Hot Radio 365.com. This is Real Talk with your man, Preston, DJ Smooth. We have a super show lined up for you. Mr. Park Stewart is a stellar, nominated recording artist and multi-platinum hit songwriter. As a lot of his songs have been sung by Commissioned, Virtue, Yolanda Adams, Isaac Curry on his latest album, R&B group 112, and Dave Hollister. In spite of everything going on in the world, Mr. Park Stewart, new single, Put the K in Cool, come together. This will bless and encourage every listener that hears it. As the song says, if we walk together, we can talk together. If we talk together, we can make it better. And additionally, introducing Mr. Edward E3 Armstead III, who is the executive producer at Eat Music Group. He has been in the music industry over 20 years and has A&R experience with 4 times Stellar Award winning producer and CSAC songwriter with RIAA Platinum certification for sales over 1 million. Mr. Armstead membership includes ASCAP, BMI, CSAC, and Sound Exchange. And now, without further ado, put your hearts together and welcome. Good morning to everybody, Mr. Park Stewart and Mr. Edward Armstead III.
Yes, sir.
It's wonderful to have you on Real Hot Radio 365.com and Real Talk. This is your man, Preston, DJ Smooth. And we'll get right down to it. It's a pleasure to have you on the show today.
I'm glad to be here.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Okay, who want to start first? From the
Parks.
top down? Or
Ask what you will.
All right. Okay, Mr. Armstead,
Yes.
what inspired you in the music to do what you're doing? Because you didn't automatically start as a producer, right?
I started off singing as a kid in different groups, a cappella, and just having a love for music. And my dad, sung R&B in different clubs and things. And as I got older, the influence between my mom working with us singing a cappella and my dad singing, it was just there. It left there, went to middle school and elementary in bands and learned how to play drums and sight read. And it just kept evolving to wanting to really know what makes a record happen.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Wow. There's a lot of musicians that actually don't know how to read, but I can tell your concentration and being real serious about what you're doing. That takes you a long way. So,
Yes, sir.
What does it take to be a producer or a manager?
A producer, which one, a producer or a manager?
Producer.
A producer, first of all, you got to have an ear. If you can't hear,
Mm-hmm.
then you can't convey any sound or anything you want to be heard from an artist or anything to anybody. If you can't hear it first, that's why a lot of times people that are tone deaf are not really into music or not into singing because they just don't hear it. But you must have a great ear for all genres of music if you're going to be a successful producer. I mean, you may do a gospel genre, you may do inspirational things of that nature, but I think to be well-rounded, to have a good ear, one of the greatest eras of music for me and Parks will tell you more about his, is the 80s. And 80s pop and R&B was so great because the message was there, the music was there, the production was there, but without the 70s, we didn't have the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of times, even with the millennials and the Generation X that loving the 90s and music of 2000, without the 70s and the 60s and all that Motown era, we don't have none of them. So you have to be a good listener in order to be a successful producer. That's what I feel.
Yeah, I understand. And it translate into you a 4-time Stellar Award-winning producer. That's awesome.
Yes, sir.
Mm-hmm. So what particular songs were your award-winning songs?
In 2008, we won a Stellar for a song that we did on the late Albertina Walker, along with Evelyn Turrentine Agee and a lady named Prestone Williams from our city here in Detroit, called Worldwide God. It was a traditional song, and it did really well at radio, and it was nominated for the Stellar's Fan Favorite Song of the Year, where people had to actually go on the site, listen to other traditional songs of that era, and there was some heavy hitters there, and choose the song that they liked the most, and they chose our song. And so I think we were the first one to get that Fan Favorite Song of the Year award, and I haven't seen them offer it since, but that was 2008. And then I think in the latter years, like 17, 18, and 19, I did some things with a group called God's Little Soldiers and G2, like a best of that I had quite a few songs on, and they each won. So the last one I think we won was like 2019, if I'm not mistaken. But I've had over 10 nominations going back to 2002.
Okay. So your business called Eat Music Group. How'd you come up with that name?
That's our label. Eat Music Group is the label that Park Stewart is on. And Eat simply means Edward Armstead III.
Okay.
And so our slogan is, if you're hungry for a melody, eat music.
Okay. That's phenomenal. It sure is. So I see that you're a part of these organizations, ASCAP, BMI, CSAC, Sound Exchange. How are they? Are they a benefit? What kind of benefit do they provide to you?
Well, I mean, from an ASCAP point of view, Parks could tell you more about that because he's been with them over 20-some years and has written a lot of hits that have come through his ASCAP publishing company. I've been with ASCAP for a few years, and it really wasn't working for me like it was working for him, and I switched to CSAC. And they're just performance rights companies. If you want to get paid for your song being reported by these stations, you must have a performance rights company. So either CSAC, BMI, or ASCAP, you must have.
Right.
Sound Exchange will see to it that you get your royalties for your music being played anywhere. So I tell any up-and-coming writer or producer that does musical rights songs to have their stuff registered through them, BDS, Sound Exchange, and even Song Trust if you can. The Parks could tell you more about ASCAP.
Okay. All right. Great. So the number one question that I would ask you as a writer, because you write also, so what is your motivation? What is it that triggers the song in your head, or that motivates you to put something down? What is there particular issues or what is it?
Well, ultimately, creativity comes from God. I don't care, who you are or what you do. No man is an island. You don't just concoct something in your head. It's God that gives the inspiration for everything. Whether we do the right thing with it or not is another ball game.
Right.
But once I hear music, sometimes I can just hear melodies in my head, and the song can be birthed from a theme or a particular subject we wanted to convey. Or a lot of times the hook can come first. It really depends on where I'm at, what I'm doing. I could be, out on the track walking and hear a song in my head and I have to sing it in my phone. And once you find out even how Put the K and Cool came together with me and Parks, I think you're going to get a kick out of that. But it's just really organic is how it happens.
Oh, okay. Well, okay, that's great. Yeah, As a producer, is there a message, something that you would leave to the upcoming generation?
I would say study your craft and be the best you can possibly be at it. Don't just, a lot of times we're title hungry. We just want to put a name. If you go to social media, LinkedIn and Facebook, a lot of times you'll see executive producers and A&R. And a lot of times they have executive produced their own stuff because they paid for it. The A&R, they chose every song. They let the proper ears hear it. So it's pretty much them controlling everything. I would say don't chase the title. Work your gift, perfect your gift, because your gift will make room for you. But your character will keep you in the room.
Okay. All right. There's a lot of value in that. Yeah, thank you for that. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So let's jump over to Mr. Parks. Mr. Parks Stewart.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Tell us a little about yourself.
Well, you know, I've been in this industry a long time. I've done written songs for Commission, Gospel Group Commission, Virtue, Yolanda Adams. Songs that recorded in the movie Blank Man, Cry On. Recorded by 112, the R&B group, for the tribute to Biggie, which is a platinum selling CD.
Over 3 million.
Yeah, 3 million. I do it because I love it, man. I got a burning passion for it. I'm a singer, songwriter, and producer.
Wow.
And
okay.
That he is.
This is what I do. I believe in writing songs that are inspired mainly from the principle of love, because the Bible said God is love. So I kind of live by that principle. I do believe love is stronger than hate. And in this world where we live in, I think the message of love needs to be preeminent. And so I write about the experiences of life. Most of the songs that I have, the majority period, will always be inspired by something that I want, a message I want to send to people, and something that's relative to the way they may feel concerning one another and concerning God. I just think that music is relational, period, you know. And then that's what you hear in K, put the K in coolness, saying a return to spirituality. I believe that us as African Americans, we're special people, gifted in a special way. And when we use our gift as and we use it in its purest form, and it's uncontaminated or not perverted, it goes for power and brings about change.
Yes.
And I believe that music is not just music. I believe music can also be a movement.
Exactly.
And so,
yes.
yeah. So we need to figure out what are we moving? Are we moving in a direction of, I like to call it, sometimes people are not focused, or the direction they're headed in, they just don't know. They wander. They kind of wander. They feel like they haven't tapped into their identity. And when you haven't tapped into your identity in Christ, to me, you have an crisis. And so I think what I try to do is direct people into a way of the movement that leads to positivity, and they can lift people up from wherever they are and put them into a direction that's positive, and let them have a return to come home to spirituality, to where in God all our creativity lies. You know, if you go back in history and you look at, Ed made a good comment about what he was really saying is he's a music historian. In order for us to be effective, we have to examine where we come from.
Right.
And, you know, when you hear me, you're going to hear Marvin Gaye, you're going to hear Elder Barge, you're going to hear Donny Hathaway, Stevie, King Cole. You're going to go all the way back. You're going to hear some jazz. You're going to hear Miles Davis. You're going to hear even up-to-date Michael Franks. You're going to hear a whole lot of different people. And you say, well, why did I mention, you know, African Americans? And you see where soul music comes from. It's just music of the soul. And we were effective in presenting music of the soul coming from Motown, you know, Four Tops, Temps, and that whole doo-wop vibe of stylistics, dramatics, OJs, all the groups that were there, but all the groups had their own uniqueness about them, even though they were all male groups. And I think that's what our music is missing now. It's missing the diversity and the uniqueness of being able to have identifiable artists with identifiable messages.
And, and that's why I like the song "Put the K in Cool." I really like that because the wording, if we walk together, we can talk together. If we talk together, we can make it better. The "we" is profound. I really like that. And hey, I commend you guys for doing that. Yes, sir. Absolutely. Okay, you can continue.
Yeah, I think that the strength is in unity.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Ed said earlier about, no man's an island.
Mm-hmm.
You're better when you can bring a lot of gifts together and watch it turn into something special.
Yeah.
And I think the world doesn't promote, as we look at society now, they don't promote team as much as they do individuality.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we miss the things that are special because it's too much individuality and look at me, it's all about me.
Mm-hmm.
And the we, us, gets lost. Where everybody knows when it's a team, it's better ideas, you get more creativity. And when it's organically done, as Ed said, and everybody brings something special to the table, and the vibe in the room where there's no pretentiousness, there's no jealousy, you're going to come up with something special. I like what Quincy Jones said. He used to say all the time when they came to the studio room and he had all that talent in there, he said, okay, let's let all the egos out. Let's let God in and all egos out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, that's a powerful statement,
Yes.
Because I agree. Let egos go out and let's let God orchestrate this thing.
Mm-hmm.
I was saying in another interview, I always use this example about being a paintbrush. A paintbrush itself has no meaning until somebody picks it up and puts the colors there and paints upon the canvas.
Right.
And I view myself as a paintbrush for God. And I believe that what he does is he paints the messages and puts the colors there upon the canvas, and the message becomes pictorial to the people who listen. The melody suits the soul, grips the soul, and the song is married together from the tracks to the background vocal to the lead vocal. And what you have is like a movie. You watch this movie takes you through and you feel the emotions of this movie, and then it has a climax, and then the next thing you know, if it's a good movie, you don't even mind watching it. We've watched movies over and over and over down through the years. We already know what the end is going to be, yet our emotions are still grabbed when we still watch that movie.
Right.
And I think it's the same thing with a song. A song should be a journey. A song should take you there, should make you visualize, should make you feel, and the story should be remembered. And if you're talking about relational things and things of social injustice and things that are going on now, what better way than to put it to a melody where people can remember why we're really here? What is our purpose? How do we bring about change? How do we become a better who we are? How do we become better? Everybody wants to know who they are, but how do you determine who you are, then become better at being who you are? And I think that's why I call music, that's why I call it a movement and not just music.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. Oh, well, that's super and profound spirituality. So today, what message is it that you would leave for those that are coming up after you?
I would say to everyone, I like what Ed said about studying history, but capture the spirit of the song, not just the talent of it. You can, when you write from experience, I use this example a lot. I'm from the hood up here. I was raised in a tough part of Detroit. And all those things combined and experiences I had causes me to write from a different place than other people. Doesn't mean I'm better. It just makes me write from a different place. And so my thing would be write from the place of authenticity and not from just storytelling. Let it be authentic of where you come from. If you love to be a lover, you know, if you romanticize, let it be romantic. You know, don't just write something because it's poetic. Don't just do something because everybody else is doing it. Dare to be unique. Dare to be diversify the music industry. I think that's what it has suffered in the last few years is the diversity. You know, you do one thing, okay? We have trap. The young people love trap music, but at the same time, where's the diversity in the trap? You know? And that's why I think so many people relate to old school. They like to call it old school, but it's amazing how old school travels through the annals of time.
Right.
Really look at it, it never loses.
It's relevant.
Never loses.
Yeah.
It remains relative because the message was authentic and the people singing it felt what they were singing.
Right.
So as long as it comes from that authentic place, I think that your writing, your production, whatever you do, people say, well, you know, I got to be passionate. Yeah, you have to be passionate, but you also have to be very authentic.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Wow. Yes, sir. Absolutely. I wholeheartedly agree. Authentic. So I would like for you and Mr. Armstead to tell the listening audience where you can be found, you know, how they can contact you. You know, do you have a site or a message center or something like that?
Well, I'll let Ed tell you that because everything I do is up under what he does. I do have my brand is Psalms 51 and collaborate together in writing and everything, just about everything that we do. So there's collaboration there. So he has Eat Music, I have Psalms 51 Music. Okay. And then we bring those two entities together. And any information that you need from me, you can get it from Ed because he also helps in my management as well as a record label. He's a jack of all trades.
Okay. All right. Well, I can tell you two walk together.
Yes, sir. Yes, we do. 30 years now.
All right. Fantastic. Well, look, it's been a pleasure to have both of you on. And I look forward to the next time. We got to do it again because I know you got a project coming.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so we'll stay in contact.
Absolutely.
All right. All right. Have a great day.
All right.
Yes,
thank
sir.
you.
Pleasure is all ours.
Okay. All right. Bye.
Right.
This has been a phenomenal show. Awesome. Thank you, Mr. Edward Armstead III and Mr. Park Stewart of the Eats Music Group. Thank you, family, for listening to Real Hot Radio 365.com and Real Talk with Preston DJ Smooth.